Thank you. Again, very happy, and we did get to win. Happy for our kids. Like I say, we'll talk about the issues here in just a minute, and that we didn't play as well as we need to, but there was a lot of resilience. There was a lot of competitiveness, and that's the way we've been. So an SEC wins an SEC win, and there's no bad wins. But at the same time, we have to quit and find a way to quit allowing teams when we're playing well and doing good things to get back in football games and allow them to do that. Again, hats off to them. They played their tails off. They made plays. They threw and caught the ball, made plays all over. Chad did a great job calling the game. The defense mixed things up a little bit, and we had some opportunities we didn't capitalize on offense, but we moved it and had some really good things on offense. But, had some huge momentum swings in the game. I thought special teams-wise, our punter was really good, except for we had the one punt return again that set up a score. We let one out. We missed down there and then got picked off right there. But then he punted the ball, pinned him back there late, which really changed the game with that big punt, and he was a big part of it. And don't think Seth Small having that big kick after missing 2 kicks last week to come back and hit a 50-yarder right there, that was huge, and a big-time play by a young man that he had a tough week last week. And what he did. And he'd been kicking the ball extremely well. That's the way he'd been kicking it all the time. So in that regard, we were good. Otherwise, on special teams, had one nice punt return. He actually got lucky on it, though, a little bit. That ball was cutting away from him. But that sucker has a way to make plays now. He's a playmaker. Defensively, just never got in rhythm. They ran the football on us and did a really good job, and then were able to mix up the play actions and the eye candy to do it, which caused the eye violations in the passing game. And they were able to run that football, and they did a really nice job in what they did. But again, defensively, got a big turnover in the end zone, got an interception in the end zone, which was huge in the game, and then got the big 4th down stop at the end, which was very critical. And how we did that was huge. And then did 2 good stops when we were pinned back with the punt on those 2 possessions. One when we on the punt, and then one we had to turn over down there, and then we held them again, and then got it back and went back and got points the very next drive. Offensively, started out extremely well, moving the football up and down the field. Kellen was really sharp, didn't get the running game going in the first half. I mean, look at a couple missed, same thing, a couple missed cuts, couple missed blocks, some things we did, but in the passing game, we were very sharp, moving the football very well. Third downs were good on the day. We're 50% on the day on that part of it. But then we had the fumble right there and after the turnover, which was huge, because we could have really went down. If we could have taken that drive and got points and had the ball coming out the second half, when it was 14-3, that allowed them to get back in the game. But then we did have a big drive 2 minutes before the half. We got down a 2-minute drive before the half and did a really good job. And got the lead back and got momentum swings. Our kids were resilient in that. And then come out the second half and got stalled a little bit. Then we got the running game going. Got the quarterback runs a little bit, and we got control of the clock, rested our defense a little bit, started pounding that thing and mixed it up. It was unfortunate. Kellen made a really poor decision on that one in the corner. Should have just laid it. Guy had it, and he thought he was going to, was going to swim underneath. He couldn't. He wasn't in position, just throwing it away, and we go to the next play. He made a big critical error there, but then he come back and played very well and let us down. We got a touchdown drive, and just back down to another field goal, which was big, and the touchdown throw was a really good throw because their Mike backer didn't play the fake, and he backed up, and he laid it in the back of the end zone. They made a really good throw and catch. So, it was good to see Jason Cabote got going in the second half and got some nice runs going and things we did. But, it was just up and down. Still too inconsistent in how we played, and we got to do a better job. And I got to do a better job as a coach. We got to coach them better and put them in that position to be successful and do it. But, there is heart there. There is competitiveness there. We just have to play better and play more intelligently in key situations, and that's us to coach them and put them in those situations. Questions?
Okay, we'll take a question on the front, right on the aisle here. And if you will, your name and your affiliation, please.
Gabe Bach with Texags. After the looked like an overthrow, maybe Rogers didn't run the whole route with great speed, and you took him out. You brought in 17 Anias. He looked like a difference maker, Jim.
He is a difference maker. He's making plays. He's having fun. He's trusting his eyes. He's playing. And 13 was banged up. He had a slight pull, and I thought we had a good throw there, and so he just kind of lost in the lights a little bit, and that happens. But that was a touchdown drive right off the bat that we had that was right there that. Was dead on, and he was hurting a little bit, so we got a nice back, which we were going to have him in the game anyway, and we got to get this guy going. I mean, he's making plays for us, and Courtney and him, and the other receivers doing a nice job too. But for a young guy, he's doing a really nice job, and he's also in our punt return game.
Question on the front row, left.
Jimbo, Zach Taylor, WGTAW. What in that first half caused the struggles with the run game? I mean, what? I have to look
at it. Second half, we got angles, we got calls. Had maybe a miscommunication. I don't want to. We thought we did, but we went the second half, got a good plan again, which we did, and then we got to the hats and got the corrections made by the calls on the sideline. And I don't want to say it till I watch the film. I'll give you an evaluation on Monday, or when we do it. You say those things now, and then the film tells you something else. Now I know we missed a couple blocks, and a couple of them we missed some cuts. I know there were some cuts that we could have kept coming around there a couple times that we really had that I did see, but I'll wait and see to make that evaluation. But we got to figure it out.
Front row, right side.
Yeah, Olin Buchanan,
Yes, sir.
Texas coach. You spoke of the positive and negative aspects of the game. Overall, do you feel good about this win?
Yes, it's a win. I always feel good. Listen, a win's a win. You always feel good because you find ways to persevere and have success, but you're not satisfied. You're not content. You're not that you know there's a lot of issues that we have to get fixed to go on down the road to play good football, and that's what we have to do. I mean, listen. There's no bad wins. I don't care what you say, because I've been on some bad losses, and you should have had on a win, and that there's no such thing. But by no means am I happy, satisfied, or content with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and the way we're doing it.
Question on the front row, and then we're going to move to the rear.
Yeah, Kirk Bowles from the Austin American Statesman.
Yes, sir.
Jimbo, your players look pretty solemn coming off. Do you feel like in any way they overlooked Arkansas?
No, we didn't overlook them. We practiced our tails off. That rivalry game, they know it. They didn't overlook them. They just knew that they didn't play as best as they did. See, I mean, there's victory. A player knows, or a coach knows, and we all do it. We enjoy the wins and things, but ours is about our performance. I mean, how we do things, and that they understand that. But you still celebrate wins. You have a win, and you appreciate them. But you understand there's a lot of work to do and things we got to get fixed.
Question on the aisle, and then we're going to go to the rear.
Brent Swarneman,
Yes,
Houston
sir.
Chronicle. You said there are issues with the week off coming up this Saturday. What are maybe the top one or two issues?
Well, I'll
you need
list
to
them.
work
I've
on?
had some things listed. When I watch this film, I'll make a list. When I watch the film on the way home of exactly what they are, how they are, and what they are, and leverage points. If it was combination blocks inside, whether it's our gap schemes, whether it's our zone schemes, how we're putting hats, steps, how we're in protection. We give up a couple protections today that I can't understand how they got in there. You know what I'm saying? And everything. I mean, defensively didn't fit some plays right. We had some things in defense that we should have had fits, and we had guys, and we weren't. They were running. They should have jumped. We call jump cut, fit the backers back on some of those cutback runs that should be in there, and they didn't. We got to see why. Did somebody pinch them off? Till you see the film, we'll know, and then I'll make those evaluations. But there's going to be in all three phases. We got some things we got to definitely get fixed, and that's football, man. You got to get better each and every week, and then your team's got to grow as the season goes.
All the way in the rear on the platform on the left-hand side.
Coach Darrell Bruffett with KBTX.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about the turnovers and how that, again, this week hurt you guys?
Yeah, he made a bad decision in the red zone, so just throwing it away. And the other one, he was pulling the ball to come back out. Kellen was on the run, and he clamped down on it. And it was a pull read, and we were pulling it to go back the other side. And they had a miscommunication on it, and that's exactly what happened.
Got a question on the aisle on the outside?
Kevin Sherrington, Dallas Morning
Yes, sir.
News. Did you think this was Kellen's best game?
No, I mean, I've seen Kellen do some really good things. I thought he made a lot of big plays. Tell you, the scramble we made on third down, I mean, that's the thing about it. He made the mistake. He come back, and then he had that big scramble on third down. I thought that was a huge play in the football game. Be able to get down and get that field goal on that drive, and then he had a couple throws, and he made some good throws, and had one dropped, and had another one. But no, I mean, he can play much better than that, and I don't think he played poorly, but I don't think he played his best. He had a couple critical mistakes, and we got to get that fixed.
On the aisle on the left side.
Wendell Barnhouse, PressBoxDFW.com.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Kellen, is he kind of carrying the team right now? I mean,
Well, I think-
you
well, there's-
guys are relying on him an awful lot.
We are. Well, I mean, tell me what good team doesn't rely on a good quarterback. You know what I mean? And our good receivers. I mean, you got some good receivers that are making plays too. We got to get more balanced in what we're doing. And we had a lot of guys catching balls and making runs out there too now. I mean, it's just some guys blocking in the passing game and getting open. I mean, that's just a part of it he does. And the quarterback run game, when you have an athletic quarterback, it evens the numbers up and gives you an advantage. When you run the quarterback and you do it, you got to pick and choose, but it creates better angles for your linemen. It makes them have easier blocks on how you do things and the way you do things, and those things are critical to be able to use when you have to use.
On the middle, halfway back on the right.
Coach, I think James Staglianti, Reddit College Football.
Yes, sir.
I think this is the first game this season where none of the tight ends had any receptions, or as far as I could see, some targets. Was this part of the game plan to emphasize getting the ball?
No,
more?
we had a couple of things at the tight ends we had called that just didn't get there, and some nakeds and things. And then we got into the spread game. We liked our four wide matchup. We wanted to get in some four wides, and that got 17 in the mix a little bit more. And some things, and it also takes a little pressure off those young tight ends. I mean, they don't have to play as many snaps. They can be fresher on some things in which they do. But no, there was nothing. We had some passes that could have went to them and different things, but the reads took it elsewhere and where they were going, and that's just the way it went out.
We had a question all the way on the rear on the
See,
platform.
because 17 in some of those plays, he was right where the tight end would be.
Go ahead.
Justin Winter, KXTV and College Station. Coach,
Yes, sir.
I know, right in the lights.
Yeah, I can't say.
Last drive for Arkansas, 4th and 2, they get it to O'Grady, but then the 4th down, eventually you finally get a stop. Just your defense's relentlessness to get off the field there and win the
They
game.
did. They had a big one there. And then dadgum, we had him sacked on third down. That could have been a 4th and long, and we let that one get through our arms. They were competing hard. But, again, you made the plays when they had to make the plays in a 2-minute situation. That was really critical and big in what we did. And, they got us off the field. That's the same. This game's ended the same way 2 years in a row. And we were able to run it. We were able to get some points on offense to get it back up. And defense got a critical stop, and now we were able to get the victory.
Question on the front row.
Demetrius Johnson on the Hill Sports Talk, Arkansas. Just speak on that touchdown that Isaiah Spiller had. I feel like that was a big momentum play.
It was in the first part of it. Isaiah is a very talented young man. And I wasn't letting me know there's miscommunications on some things, but this guy's going to be a really good player. Been a lot put on his plate for a true freshman coming in, and especially at running back, because you got to block, you got to run, you got to routes. I mean, there's a lot goes to playing running back, especially with what we do. And he's getting better and better each week. But he is a strong, talented, very good football player who's going to have a really good career at A&M.
This is going to be the final question for Coach.
Travis Brown with the Eagle. I know you talked a little bit about the quarterback run game. How much was an emphasis this week on Kellen working in scrambling and opening up the run game that way?
Well, see, you can't. If you say scrambling, if it's called quarterback runs is one thing. Scrambling is something that you can't design. You can say it all you want. That's instinct because you don't know when that play is going to come out. I mean, that's why I know back when you love an athletic quarterback because he can create those plays. But here's the thing: as an offensive guy, tell me when they're coming. I'll feel a lot better. And I say it, people say it about all those great quarterbacks and defensive guys hate those guys. But as an offensive guy, you still have to make decisions from the pocket and play, and then run when those openings are there. And a lot of that's feel and touch, and sometimes those openings aren't there. And so because you can't count on them unless they're design runs and things you have. But that aspect of the game though does put a lot more pressure on their defense in certain coverages in which they do, how they rush you, the way things go. And he was able to hit some of those today, and it was a very big part of our game. Very critical.